Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. So I am currently studying the book of Ezekiel, and I was reading a few days ago in chapter 3 about being a watchman, right? So with being a watchman, when you obviously see something or see someone doing something, what they're doing is obviously going to land them in the lake of fire, you should say something. It's one of those things where it's like you see something, you say something. The kids in school, if you see somebody doing something wrong, you obviously are supposed to tell or say something, whatnot. When it comes to being a watchman, right, I'm going to read this part of Ezekiel in chapter 3. Yahweh is telling Ezekiel, like, hey, if I tell you to say something to somebody about their sin, right, giving that person a chance to repent, you need to say something. Don't just stand there. Their blood will be on your hands. So, starting at verse 17, Son of man, I have made you a watchman for the house of Yahazq'al, and you shall hear a word from my mouth, and shall warn them from me. When I say to the wrong, you shall certainly die, and you have not warned him, nor spoken to warn the wrong from his wrong way to save his life, that same wrong man shall die in his crookedness, and his blood I require at your hand. So if you obviously see somebody doing something that's going to damn them to the pits of hell, you should say something. Because how are they going to know that, hey, you're about to die, right? And die being living for eternity in the pit, not even getting a chance to repent or ask for forgiveness to be in the kingdom, but they're going to stay in that crookedness. He's saying, hey, if I say warn them, you need to warn them. And things like, you know when you need to warn somebody, you know when you need to say something, right? That to someone about what they're doing. I am currently going through this where I have said things multiple times to this one person and they're refusing to listen and they're just blatantly ignoring me. And it's just like, dang, like what else can I do to get through to them? Right? But if you have warned the wrong, and he does not turn from his wrong, nor from his wrong way, he shall die in his crookedness, and you have delivered your being. Hey, I told you, right? I told you what it was. I told you what was going to happen. You ain't want to listen. That ain't on me no more. I did what I was supposed to do, you know? It's that type of thing. Like, you say something, because if you don't say something, that's going to be on you. Their death is going to be on you because you ain't saying nothing. But if you said something and they still continue doing what they doing, hey, I did my part. I did my part. I'm done. And when a righteous one turns from his righteousness and shall do unrighteousness, when I have put a stumbling block before him, he shall die. So when Yahuwah tests that person, right, when they go through those trials and tribulations, and then they decide, this ain't worth it. I'm done with doing righteousness. I'm just going to do sin because that just seems easier. Then he'll die. Because you did not warn him, he shall die in his sin, and his righteousness, which he has done, is not remembered, and his blood I require at your hand. So you see this person doing righteous, right? And you see that they're obviously having a hard time. They're going through something. Give them some words of encouragement, because even the people who are doing righteous need words of encouragement. Okay, everybody needs words of encouragement, but especially those who are doing righteous, because it can be hard. It can be hard to be doing the right thing all the time when sin is so enticing and tempting. It's hard. But if you have warned the righteous one that the righteous should not sin, and he did not sin, he shall certainly live, because he has been warned and you have delivered your being, right? You give that person words of encouragement like, hey, you're doing good. Keep going. Keep going, because if you slip up, I know this is a trial, this is a test, and it's hard. Okay? It's hard, but it's an open book test, right? You got this. If they continue in that righteousness and you've given them that, it's kind of like oxygen, right? Because they feel like they're probably suffocating, but you're giving them oxygen and they continue on doing righteous, they will have everlasting life, and you will have everlasting life too. Okay? As long as you're doing the right thing, not just telling somebody that, hey, tap them on the shoulder like, hey, don't do that, but as long as you're also doing righteous and you're doing what Yahuwah has commanded you, then you have saved your being. Meaning you have saved yourself from going in the pit. You have saved yourself from someone's blood being on your hands. We are so used to living in a world of sin. And before coming to this truth, I was living a life of sin. And I think it's because it's so commonplace and everyone's doing it that we don't think anything of it. That when we come out of it, and it's like, oh my goodness, y'all are wilding out. You've got to say something. It's different when you're living in sin because everyone else is doing it. It doesn't look like sin. But when you're not living in sin, it's like, whoa, no, we're not doing that. That's got to stop. Hey, stop doing that. You'll end up in a pit. Hey, that's wrong. What does the word say? That type of thing. But this world is just so ridden with sin and filth and just all types of demoralizing things. Okay. And so when you start living a life that is the way that Yahuwah wants us to live life, when people who don't live that way see you living that way, they will feel some type of way, right? They will feel like, oh, you're judging, even though you haven't said anything. Oh, you're judging me. Oh, you think you're better than me. And you haven't said a word. But when you start living different, is when people start realizing that what they're doing is clearly not the right thing to do. And they feel a type of way. And then on top of that, when you say something, when you tell them, like it says right here, but if you have won the wrong, and he does not turn from his wrong, nor from his wrong way, he shall die in his crookedness. Because you can tell people that they're in the wrong, right? And that they're in sin, and they will not listen to you. And that's, I think, the hardest thing about being in the truth and also being a watchman is like, these people are people that you love, like family. And it's hard to tell family, like, hey, what you're doing is going against the word, especially if they don't necessarily have a relationship with the Most High and they don't, necessarily believe, right? They don't read the word. They're like, oh, you just think you better than me. You good too. She was all that type of stuff. But that's what it is, though. But you still have to tell them. And it's like he told Ezekiel in chapter 2, and this isn't the first time that he said it. He said, and they, whether they hear or whether they refuse, for they are a rebellious house, shall know that a prophet has been in their midst. And you, son of man, do not be afraid of them, nor be afraid of their words, though thistles and thorns are with you, and you dwell among scorpions. Do not be afraid of their words or discouraged by their looks, for they are a rebellious house. That is hard because you don't want your family to hate you, but oh well. It's like it's one of those things where you have to suck it up. The Most High, pleasing the Most High should be more important than being afraid of your family hating you and you feel like you have nobody. You have the Most High, because you just sitting there, sitting back and just watching and not saying anything and like being complacent is the same as being in agreement, right? By not saying anything, it's like you're agreeing with what they're doing. Like it's okay to do what they're doing, but it's not. You have to say something. And I'm still going through this with a particular person, and it's hard. It is hard, y'all. It's very hard, but we have to do it because Yahuwah commanded it. That's all I have.